Are there any fantasy animals that you think may have actually existed? Because I think there's like a non-zero chance that something like a dragon existed.
I was about to come down on that same side. That
Because
there could
there
be
were terror
some.
birds, but the terror birds died out like 10,000 years ago. But there are Native American legends about what's called a thunderbird in the Pacific Northwest, and that is a region that the terror birds lived, and they were gigantic birds. Like they looked like monsters from a movie.
Are those real
Gigantic birds.
legends though? Like, did they have writing enough to pass that down, or is
Oral
it just some
tradition.
guy now being like, "Yes, it is pretty. It was pretty scary." Like, what else is there?
I would imagine it's oral tradition and maybe some like pottery carvings or totem
Okay.
poles or some bullshit.
They
also
I'm not
have
one to question oral tradition of Stone Age civilizations.
You've read the Bible, right?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. No correlation there. Just checking. I think dragons might have existed.
Yeah.
Maybe I think what could have happened, because there's a lot of legends about dinosaur-like things, like Loch Ness Monster. I don't believe in, obviously, because
Yeah,
we
it
don't
would be
have it
too
by
big.
now. But there was a dinosaur that looked just like what the Loch Ness Monster supposedly looked like, called the plesiosaur. And there's this maybe Amazonian dinosaur that's supposedly spotted. Its name is hard to pronounce. It's like Mantampe Bembe or some shit like that. But they often think that it's some sort of quadruped dinosaur that lives deep in the jungle that they keep going on expeditions to try to find. And then the idea of dinosaurs being in all of those legends for all around the world, from South America to Asia to even Europe, all those legends about people fighting winged, fire-breathing, reptilian monsters. It just seems like there's a lot of commonality there. So maybe there was some sort of, I don't know, maybe a terror bird or maybe some sort of weird pterodactyl type thing.
I've got one. I think something like the Loch Ness Monster isn't too big a stretch. What is it? A big sort of worm-shaped fish?
It's a plesiosaur. It's I'll show you.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a stretch at all to see I don't know, big fish swimming around that's tube-shaped.
Well, it's not a big fish.
It would be a big reptile. And I think a big pushback on it is like that thing would be too large to have existed or got that big in something as small as Loch Ness. Not that Loch Ness is small, but
there we go. Yeah, sure, Loch Ness, I'll agree. But we're talking about fantasy animals that could exist. And there are way bigger things than that in the ocean.
Yeah,
I
but
think
we know
the blue
about most
whale is the biggest animal to have ever existed in the Earth's history, which is kind of neat. That, like, I think of the giant animals as kind of extinct, but the biggest one of all is here right now.
Yeah, the biggest one we know about.
An even bigger one. That would be sick.
The biggest one we know about. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be cool if we found some skeleton of something that the blue whale is descended from, or something even larger. And Kyle, I wanted to bring this up to you because there was a huge victory this week for Team Taylor Dinosaur, that they found a lot of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it had fossilized in it scales, which has thrown a wrench into the anti-science feather narrative. What do you think?
They had scales and feathers. So
no, according to this thing I spent no time looking at, scales. And how would it have scales and feathers? Just like sparse, shitty feathers through the scales?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I don't know why you're so anti-feathers. I think feathers are pretty dope.
Because he's like Jurassic Park.
I'm very much locked into the Jurassic Park depiction of them.
How many of those have you seen?
I've seen the first one, obviously. I've seen the second one. The third one I did not care for. And then the Chris Pratt ones came about, and I saw the first Chris Pratt one.
That's a lot of Jurassic
I think
Park.
It was the first one where they were running around in what looked like fucking Epcot, and then like people were panicked, and then a pterodactyl snatched that lady, took her right away from those kids,
threw her in the water, and then another water dinosaur ate her.
And I thought that water dinosaur was like, we need to spend a little more time on this. That's a really cool.
The whole movie
dinosaur.
should have been the water dinosaur. That thing is awesome.
It made the T-Rex look like a bitch.
Well, they do that.
It did, but who's afraid of water dinosaurs?
Anyone in the water.
Yeah, anyone in the water,
which
but
is easy to not be.
That's true.
They are on an island. It's a bit of a problem. I lost track of the Jurassic Park movies years ago. My girlfriend's super into them, so she watches every one. But it's like, it's absurd. How do we keep repeating this pattern of let's make a dinosaur park and oh no, the dinosaurs got out and killed people? Like
at some point, Deutsche Bank is going to be like, yeah, I mean, we're not funding it again. It has been an unmitigated disaster all the time. Each time you say the dinosaurs will not get loose from the cage, and then what happens? You bring your little amber walking stick in here and say, "Oops, it has escaped from the cage."
He was like, no. He kept saying, "No, spared no expense. Maybe a taller fence. Maybe why aren't they underground and us looking down at them? Why would they ever be behind a thing that
I could have
electricity
broken
goes
out of Jurassic?
As soon as the power went out, it was game over. How had they not planned for a storm?
Yeah,
how did they not plan for a power out?
And then the only thing between you and a dinosaur is fucking Jeff Goldblum's horny ass talking about fucking.
Feeling your wife up, you're getting all handsy with her.
If you put a little drop of water on my hand, then later in the movie, I'll fuck you.
Chaos theory.
Chaos theory. Yeah, it's like
Jeff Goldblum. It'd been great if what's his name just beating the shit out of him right there in that Ford Explorer.
Oh, that would be good, dude. I watched that scene when I was like 7 when that movie came out and was like, this guy's a fucking weirdo.
Get your hands off my woman.
I remember wondering. I was like, I get why I get why Sam Neill is here. He's important. I get why the old man is here. I get why the lady's here. She's some expert in something. What the fuck is this guy doing? Yeah, I didn't even remember.
Yeah, what was Jeff Goldblum's thing aside from
dino sexuality?
Life Finds a Way was his thing.
Yeah, he was a scientist.
It was dinosexuality.
He was a chaos theory expert of some kind, maybe a bit of a philosopher, but that's all I remember. I don't remember him really needing to be there, because the lawyer was obviously there to sign off on legalities, and the dino experts were there because he wanted them to co-sign it because it would look good. I don't know why Jeff Goldblum was there with his chaos theory cuckoldry over there. He's like holding her arm, like watching a droplet of water like run down her forearm, and he's like stroking her forearm, talking about how I
don't remember.
He's explaining chaos. It's very early in the movie when they first get there. I don't even think they've seen dinosaurs yet.
They hadn't even seen dinosaurs, and you know what's funny is somehow that woman actress accurately portrayed both the disinterest and how off-put she was by him doing that. Like, she didn't seem interested.
I disagree. She was laughing. She was laughing it up with him. That's not.
I remember fake laughs.
I remember. Yeah, but to a creep like Jeff Goldblum, a fake laugh is an invitation for a finger banging. You know, they don't read. He can't read nuance. He's all about chaos theory.
I wish he was the one that got 8 out of that.
He is in the book. He gets eaten in the book. I'm almost positive, but I think they wanted more Jeff Goldblum.
You remember the guy who sat in the porta potty?
The lawyer. Yeah,
and then the T-Rex knocked it down, and then he goes, "Ah!" Is he shitting?
I quote that part all the time. Like the kids are like, "He left us! He left us!" Because he just bails on the kids. And I'm just like, I would have also bailed on those children. First of all, what am I going to do? Fisticuffs the Tyrannosaurus Rex? It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You don't need me here. If anything, I'll lure him away from you. And worst case scenario, only you'll die, but I'll get to tell your parents what happened. Like, there is no reason to not flee in terror from a gigantic predatory dinosaur. I didn't get it.
But it would be tough. If you were in that car with them, you can't, and he's already through the restraint. There's no way for you to run because it's going to take like 4 steps, snatch your ass up, and then turn his attention back to the car. Like, you have to wait until he eats one of the children, and then you break. Or you bring the small boy with you and toss him aside as you're running, because the dinosaur doesn't discriminate. He's just hungry.
He's just hungry.
Yeah, he'll just munch that kid down, and then the way it ate the whole time was like tossing it up in the air and then snatching, which means you get a couple more seconds to get away.
I think in Jurassic Park 5, they like genetically engineer some super locusts that then spread all over the planet and start eating all of our food. But then Jurassic Park 6 happens, and there's no mention of that.
They had so much success with their initial 5 experiments that they decided to genetically engineer locusts. I haven't seen that one.
I didn't watch that one. I just caught like a few tidbits. Yeah, I have been divorced of the
That
Jurassic Park
sucks.
universe for a while.
Everyone thinks dinosaurs are cool. No one thinks locusts are cool.
Yeah.
No.
There's a scene in the first Jurassic Park, the kid's holding binoculars. And I think the dad or whatever, he's not her dad, but he's like,
Lawyer.
put those down. They're expensive. Is the lawyer.
Mhm.
And the kid's like, how do you know they're expensive? And he's like, are they heavy? She's like, yeah, they're expensive. Put them down. And that burned into my head as this core memory that like quality things tend to be a little heavy. Expensive things tend to be a little heavy.
Mhm.
And he's not wrong.
Yeah,
the
attorney
problem was that
right.
kid's grandfather owns those binoculars and the SUV they're in and the island they're on. So it really didn't make sense for him to be correcting that kid anyway. He should have been kissing that little kid's ass. Oh, you having fun with those, Timmy? I think that was the kid's name. I think it was Timmy. Yeah. That was a good movie. That was before Sam Jackson did Pulp Fiction. He wasn't quite the star that he became afterwards.
Wait, who was Sam Jackson in the original?
He's the He's the good computer programmer who's explaining. He's like pulling up Linux or something. He's like, I have to go through every line of code manually. And they're like, how many lines of code? And he's like, about 2 million. Sam Jackson.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. The last time I saw that movie, I wasn't even familiar with who Sam Jackson was. It's been 25
Why
years.
would a zoo be a programming problem?
I don't know.
Because the Newman character had done some sort of tampering with their system, so they couldn't turn the power back on, and they couldn't control the paddocks without like getting into the system. And that's all I really remember from that. But Sam Jackson was the cigarette smoking sort of computer programming guy. He ends up getting his arm. They did find him later, and just his arms hanging there. She's like, oh, thank God you're here. Oh! Just like got his whole arm.
Oh, I remember that. I also remember like being scared for Newman when he had to get out of the car and try and fix the wheels or whatever, or like open the gate or whatever it was that was preventing him from leaving. And then that like horrible dinosaur with the fins on the neck.
Maybe?
So it's like it spazzes out and then it shoots like a bunch of gunk right in his face.
Wasn't there a 6 foot tall dinosaur that was scary that they could have used instead of lying about what the raptor is? Wasn't the raptor the size of a chicken or something?
Yeah, Kyle is a raptor apologist, but yeah, actual raptors were like little chicken bitches.
I don't know that there's a chicken-sized animal on the planet I couldn't beat.
That's true.
Oh, there's that scene in Jurassic Park 3 though, when there's lots of the little ones, and the guy like kicks it. He's like, "Get the fuck out of here! You can't have any of my sandwiches."
Exactly.
But then it shows up with like 80 of its buddies.
Sure.
And they all swarm him and start like eating him alive.
They nip at him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
true.
There must have been a 6 foot tall, made for Hollywood.
There was. Yeah. Absolutely.
They should have used it.
I think that they just wanted to use the name Velociraptor. I think it was just another type of raptor.
The little kind.
Why?
And it's a cool name. No one can take that away from them. Like Velociraptor is a really awesome name.
But they made it a cool name. I hadn't heard of Velociraptor prior to the movie.
Fair. That's a good argument. I also liked when Sam Neill threatened that 7-year-old for interrupting his speech in the beginning of Jurassic Park 1, where he's like, and also another thing to know about velociraptors, and the kid's like, those things don't look scary. And then like Sam Neill, who's like fucking 48, is like, this thing would fuck you up. Like,
he has the claw in his hand and he's giving the kid nightmares.
And I'm like, where's a parent? Like, just step in here.
That was a good. You know how it's show don't tell, like in good storytelling. He made us scared of velociraptors before we knew they were a central part of the thing by like sort of telling the story instead of like some TV broadcast that just says velociraptors were really scary.
Yeah, so the animal that is what they depicted is the Utah raptor. It maybe even is bigger than what's depicted in Jurassic Park. It's 20 feet long, but it's the same thing.
5'9" tall, though.
Yeah,
that's
about right.
That would have been perfect. And Utah Raptor is a solid name.
I don't think it was discovered at the time.
Really?
Let's see. The genus was described in 1993. When did Jurassic Park come out? I thought it was like maybe 92 for Jurassic Park.
I was going to say 91, but I'm just going off fuzzy memory.
It says the Utah Raptor was first discovered in 1975 by Jim Jensen.
93 for Jurassic Park.